All right, if you could just accept that recording and then make your way into a comfortable seat. I am going to take off my slippers and my socks momentarily, but for now, we will start seated. If you have a block or a piece of furniture nearby, we're going to explore some standing half moon again today. So if you need those bits of assistance, then I encourage you to have them nearby. Go grab them or be prepared with them. So in the meantime, come into your comfortable seated position with your legs crossed or wherever it is to make them comfortable for you. And then start to make some tiny circles, finding your sit bones on the ground, finding that connection, a little wobble side to side. And then as you start to settle into your stillness, start to think about getting your shoulders to line up over your hips. Think about bringing your navel towards your spine so that you can sit up straighter, sit up taller. Like I'm pulling something from the top of your head, making you super tall. And then take a big exhale because you probably tensed everything up. There we go. Let your hands rest on your thighs or your knees or even on the floor next to you. And breathe in. And slowing your breath down, noticing how it feels. And then gently drop your right ear over to your right shoulder. Find a deep stretch through the left side of your neck. Inhale to center, and then exhale, drop your left shoulder over, your left ear, over to your left shoulder. Come back to center, drop your right ear down to your right shoulder, and this time take your left hand, if it can reach the floor, great. If not, just reach it out wherever it is. And then see if you can walk your fingers a little bit further. So now you're finding a stretch through the side of your neck and down your arm. Now turn your nose towards your right shoulder and see if the stretch goes into the back side of your neck a little bit. Take a few breaths. And then bring your head back up to center. Return your left hand to your knee or thigh. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Reach your right arm out. If it can touch the floor, great. Let your fingers do some exploring, a little bit of movement. And then turn your nose towards your left shoulder, stretching through the side of your neck. And then come back to center, return your hands. This time we're going to reach our left arm out, up, and all the way over to the right, taking a big side stretch. And then come back to center. Reach our right arm out, up, and all the way over to the left. And then come back through center. Reach your arms straight out in front of you with your palms facing down. Now flex your palms and then point your fingers down. Flex your palms, point your fingers down. Flex and point. This time when your left hand is flexed, take your right hand over and gently guide those fingers back a little bit further, stretching through your forearms. Now take a moment to notice if your shoulders creeped up around your ears and see if you can drop them back down again. Nice. And then switch sides. Flex your right fingers, gently pull back on your right fingertips. So you're pressing the heel of your palm forward, so you're getting a stretch through the underarm here. It's good for your texting muscles, your keyboarding muscles. And then release that. Roll your wrists a little bit, one way and then the other. And then if you can, interlock your fingers, and can you make a figure 8? And this figure 8, you can start with your wrists, but then get your shoulders and your elbows. And now you're almost paddling a boat. You're getting your side body into it a little bit. So we're slowly warming up the upper body, the torso, and then come back to center. We're going to slowly make our way onto our hands and knees, coming into our tabletop position. You can keep socks on still, but I'm going to go ahead and take mine off so that I don't slip into that. So line yourself up in your tabletop position so your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, your feet are straight behind you. We're going to inhale, open our heart forward for cow. Exhale, round our spine for cat. We're going to come to neutral. We're going to curl our toes under. We're going to inhale, hover our knees off the ground. And exhale, lower back down. So we'll do that again. Untuck our toes. Inhale for cat. For cow. Exhale, round for cat. Come back to neutral. Tuck your toes. Inhale. Exhale, lift your knees. Lower back down. Untuck your toes. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, tuck your toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Bring your big toes to touch. Open your knees as wide as your yoga mat. Bring your right hand up all the way to the ceiling. Coming into a twist. And then replace your right hand down. Twist, lifting your left arm all the way up, or as far as it'll go. And then come back down. Twist again to the right. Twisting and opening up. And bring your right hand down. Twist up and open to the left. And come back down. This time we'll thread the needle. So reach up, up, up. And then on your exhale, thread your right arm underneath, coming onto your right ear. Pressing your left hand into the mat so that you're starting to give yourself some twists, some leverage. Maybe you can reach your left arm out in front of you, or you bring it all the way around your back for a half bind, deepening the twist through your torso. And then slowly unwind, come back to neutral. Resettle. Reach your left arm up into the air. And then exhale your left arm underneath, coming in, threading the needle. Bringing your left ear to the mat. Breathe here. Maybe you reach your right fingers forward. Maybe you bring them all the way up and around. Make sure that you're relaxing through your shoulders, your torso. And unwind, press back up. We're going to bring our knees back underneath us. We're going to bring our forearms down to the mat. So you can stay here, or you can walk your knees back an inch or two and see if you can lower your forehead or your chest down onto the mat, head between your biceps, coming into a puppy posture. It's a big shoulder opener, so if you can't get all the way down, don't worry about it. Maybe you can put a block or a pillow to support your head. And then we'll slowly make our way back up to our tabletop position. From here, we're going to reach our right leg behind us, saw back and forth. Find stillness, lift the right leg up, draw the right knee towards the right elbow, and then extend it back behind you. Draw the right knee to the chest and then extend it back behind you. Draw the right knee to the elbow, extend it back. Draw the right knee to the chest, extend it back. Now hold your leg up here. Start to turn your toes away from your body and see if you can start to open up, stacking your right hip on top of your left hip. So this is a little bit of that feeling that you might have in half moon. And then turn the right toes down and bring the right knee back underneath you. You can shimmy side to side, you can roll it out. And then when you're ready, reach the left leg behind you, rocking back and forth over the left foot. And then lift the left leg up, holding it out there. Draw the left knee to the left elbow, extend it back out. Draw the left knee to the chest, extend it back out. Draw the left knee to the left elbow, extend, left knee to chest, extend, and now flex your foot, turn your left toes towards the left, and then see if you can start to shift, stacking your left hip on top of your right. Keeping both hands down on the mat. And turn that toe down, come back to tabletop. We're gonna do one more thing before we go up. So you're gonna take your left foot, you're gonna turn it 90 degrees. And you're gonna roll onto the inner edge of your right foot, coming onto your left shin. So now we're really opening those hips up, reaching our right arm up in the air. Kind of like you're in half moon, but we've got a whole lot of stuff on the ground supporting us. And maybe you can float your right foot up and down just a little bit off the ground, seeing if you can get a feeling of what it's like to have one arm in the air, floating, balancing. One more breath, and then lower the right leg and come all the way back into tabletop. So now we're going to turn our right foot 90 degrees. We're going to roll open onto the inner edge of our left foot. You get the back view this time. And then pressing into your palm, into your fingertips of your right hand, you're going to start to lengthen your arms and see if you can lift the left foot up and down. Stacking the hips on top of each other. And maybe you can hold your leg up for a moment. And then lower it back down. Come back to tabletop. Shake it out or take a child's pose for a breath or two. Recalibrating. And pull yourself on up. Walk your hands out. One little handprint. Curl your toes under and start to peel your hips up. Coming into your first downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. Bend your knees. Right, left, right, left. Reach both heels down at the same time, lifting your hips up. Feel a stretch through the backs of your legs. And then gently shake your head, yes. And shake your head, no. So you want to make sure that you don't have a ton of tension in the neck and shoulders so that everything is comfy and cozy. From here, we're going to lift our right foot up. And then tap it back down. Lift our left foot up. Tap it back down. We'll do that a couple more times. Shifting our weight, working on our balance. And right foot again. And left foot again. And now we're going to lift our right foot up and we're going to try to open that hip again. And now we're a little bit more inverted. Things are a little more challenging. And then lower the right foot down. left foot up. Open it up, rotate, stack those hips. And then lower the left foot. Take a breath here. Look forward at your hands and slowly start to walk your feet up towards your hands, coming into your forward fold. Reach for opposite elbows, bend your knees slightly, sway side to side. And when you're ready, release your elbows. Press down into your feet as you start to roll up. Nice and slow, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Coming all the way up to stand. Roll your shoulders back 3 times. And then roll your shoulders forward 3 times. We're going to reach our arms all the way up overhead. Interlace your fingers, release your pointer finger. See if you can lengthen a little bit higher. And then exhale, bump your hips over to the left. Coming into a half moon shape. Come back to center. Bump your hips over to the right, coming into a half moon shape. Come back to center, release your fingers all the way down, interlace them behind your back. See if you can reach them down and away. And then maybe take a slight little look up to the ceiling, finding a tiny little back bend. Release your hands, exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms. Step your right leg back into a low lunge. Lower the right knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, arms up, crescent lunge. Breathe here. Make sure you're pressing into your left front foot. And then float the fingertips back down. Curl your right toes. Step back to plank. Lower your knees. Lower your chest, your chin. Untuck your toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, back down. Come up through tabletop or straight to plank. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up behind you. Step the right foot all the way forward. Low lunge. Lower your left knee down. Untuck your toes. Inhale up. Crescent lunge. Square your hips to the front of the room. Bring your fingertips back down. Curl your toes back to lunge. And then step your left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, scoop all the way up to stand. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend to the right. Crescent moon. Come back to center. Bend to the left. Come back to center. Release your hands. Interlace your fingers behind your back. See if you can lengthen them, opening through the chest. Make sure your feet are pressing evenly into the ground. Gaze up. And on your exhale, release your hands, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms. Step back with your left leg. Lower your left knee. Inhale your arms up, crescent lunge. Stretching through your left front hip flexor. And then bring your hands down. Step your right foot back to plank. Drop your knees, lower your knees. Bend your elbows, lower your chest and chin. Untuck your toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale through tabletop or straight to plank. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up high. Draw your left knee in all the way up. Lower your right knee down. Untuck your toes. Inhale, crescent lunge. And exhale down. Untuck your toes. And step your right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. Interlace your fingers. Release your pointer finger. Lengthen, bend to the right. Come back through center, bend to the left. Come back to center. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open your chest. Big inhale. And on your exhale, release your arms, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Here at St. Kathy Knuckle Bobby. Sorry guys, fold forward. Plant your palms, step your right leg back. This time, if you choose, keep your knee lifted. Inhale up, high lunge. Stay here. And then bring your hands down, plant your hands, step back to plank. From plank, you can either lower halfway down to chaturanga or repeat your knees, chest, chin. Baby cobra or upward facing dog. And then we will meet in downward facing dog. Float your right leg up behind you, draw your right knee all the way up, coming into your low lunge. Again, your choice to keep your knee lifted. Inhale up, high lunge. Exhale, plant your palms and step your left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead. Interlace your fingers, release your pointer fingers. Bend to the right. Inhale to center. Bend to the left. Come back to center, release your hands, interlace your fingers behind your back. Open your chest. Maybe gaze up a little bit deeper, back bend. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left leg back into low lunge. Your choice to keep your knee lifted. Inhale up, high lunge. Exhale, come back down. Step back to plank. Halfway down to chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Float your left leg up behind you. Step your left leg up. Low lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands down. Hop your right foot up to meet your left. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead. Palms come down by your side. We're going to do a couple balances before we start our flow. So shift your weight to your left leg. Lift your right heel up. So your right heel is lifted. Now think about bringing your right knee up to hip height. You can tap it down, hold on to furniture if you need to. And then take your right hand and see if you can touch your right thigh. And now can you grab underneath your right knee? And holding onto your right shin, can you start to move your right foot behind you, coming into a quad stretch? That's too much, don't worry about it. Try whatever part you can. And if you can, lift your left arm up, standing nice and tall on one leg. We're going to reverse out of it. So bring your left hand down to your waist. Draw your right knee back in. Hand under your knee. And then return your right foot down to the ground. So other leg. Shift your weight into your right leg. Lift your left toe, your left heel up. And then from there, you're going to lift your left knee. Take your left hand to your left thigh. Slide it to the front of your shin. Coming down towards your ankle. And see if you can bring your left foot behind you, coming into this quad stretch. Maybe you can balance and reach your right arm up into the air. Standing here nice and tall. And then we'll reverse out of it, right hand to hip. Draw the left knee back to the front. And release the left foot down. All right. Shake it out a little bit. Come to the top of your mat. Your feet are hip distance apart. Feel nice and sturdy between your 2 feet, nice and balanced. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step yourself back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. So that's knees, chest, chin, baby cobra, tabletop or plank, downward facing dog. And we'll all meet in down dog to start our flow. Float our right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Float the right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. One more time. Float the right leg up behind you. Draw the right knee into your chest. And then find your strength. Bring your right foot up in between your hands. You're in your low lunge. Come up onto your fingertips. Open your heart forward. I'm facing the wrong way, sorry. Open your heart forward. Your right foot is forward. You're going to turn your left heel down. Pressing into the outer edge of your left foot, you're going to reach your right arm forward, bringing it all the way up as we slowly come into our warrior 2. So your arms are at shoulder height. Use your inner thought to pull your left arm back a little bit. Make sure your shoulders are over your hips. Breathe here. Turn your right palm up. Exhale back. Go ask your father. Peaceful warrior. Breathe here. And now we're going to come all the way into our side angle, bringing our right forearm to our right thigh, reaching our left arm straight up. From here, if you're feeling good, you can reach your left arm so that your bicep is by your left ear, where you're making this nice long line. Nice. And then come back to warrior 2. And now cartwheel your hands down, step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. So the more advanced is going halfway down to chaturanga, untucking your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe here. So there's a lot of variations in the vinyasa. You can skip it entirely. You can take a child's pose. You can hold the plank the whole time. It's very fluid to do what's feeling right for you. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your knee into your chest. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your knee into your chest. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your knee into your chest. You want your hips lining up with your shoulders so your butt isn't up in the air. And then bring your left foot up between your hands, coming into your low lunge. You're up on your fingers, trying to open your heart forward. Turn your right heel down, pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. Reach your right arm forward, up to the sky, and then to the right as it lifts your body up into your warrior 2. So a little slower than what we normally do, working some of those torso muscles. Reach your arms out at shoulder height. Sit a little bit deeper. Turn your left palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. Nice side body stretch. And then we're going to come all the way into side angle. So bring your left forearm to your left thigh. Reach your right arm straight up to the sky. Get situated. Make sure your hips are opening. Your knee is over your ankle. You're reaching up. And then if you're comfortable, reach your right arm towards the front of your mat so your right bicep is by your right ear. And breathe. Come back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down. Go through your version of your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, baby cobra. Tabletop to plank to downward facing dog. Breathe here. Take a couple breaths to recalibrate, to rebalance before we move on. Adding on to that, we're going to float our right leg up behind us. Draw the right knee into the chest. Float the right leg up behind you. Draw the right knee into the chest. Float the right leg up behind you. Draw the right knee in. Hold here in plank with your knee into your chest just for a breath, and then place the foot up between your hands. Turn your left heel down. Reach your left arm up and around, coming into your warrior two. Sitting here in your warrior two. Make sure that your left ankle is under your left knee. Your hips and shoulders are in one line. Your arms are at shoulder height. Straighten both legs. Touch your hands overhead. Turn your toes in. And then warrior two to the back of the mat. Turn your left hand up. Exhale back. Peaceful warrior. Now see if you can gracefully go straight into peaceful warrior to the front of the mat. I know you can. And then from this, we're going to go into that side angle, right forearm on right thigh, reaching that left arm towards the front of your mat. Now, if you can, take your right hand down to the floor or a block and see if you can open your heart a little bit more to the left. So we're twisting, we're lining up like we're prepping for the half moon pose. Maybe you can bring your left hand behind you. Only do that if you can keep your chest open. If you have to turn back to the floor, then keep your arms straight up overhead. Nice. Come back up to warrior two. Take a pause here. And then cartwheel yourself down. Step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa. Slowing it down. Synchronizing the breath with each movement. So an inhale and then an exhale. And then we will meet in downward facing dog. Float the left leg up behind you. Draw the knee into the chest. Float the left leg up behind you. When you draw the knee in, make sure your shoulders aren't going ahead of your wrists. Reach the left leg back up again. Last one, draw your knee in. Float your left foot up between your hands. Open your heart forward, turn your right heel down, press into the outer edge of your right foot, reach the right arm forward, up, and back, coming into your warrior two. Feeling strong in this warrior two, make sure your left ankle is under your left knee, you're pressing into your right outer edge. Straighten your left foot, bring your arms up overhead, and warrior two to the back of your mat. Turn your right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. And then we're going to peaceful warrior to the front of the mat by swiveling our arms and our feet. It should be fun. And then come back to warrior two, going straight into side angle, left forearm on left thigh. Reach your right arm up. Reach your right arm to the front of the mat. If you can, bring your left hand down to a block or the floor so that you can start to twist your chest open more to the right side. Maybe you can bring your right hand behind you, finding more of a heart opener. And then come back to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down, step back to plank. Go through your version of your vinyasa, and we will meet in downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here, take a moment. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Float your right leg up behind you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Make sure you're not wobbling side to side. You're staying in these railroad tracks. Right leg up. Draw the right knee in. Float the right knee up between your feet. Turn your outer edge of your left foot down. Reach your left arm forward. Open up as you come into your warrior two. Breathe here. Straighten your right leg, turn your toes, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, warrior two to the back of the mat. Turn your left arm up, peaceful warrior. Switch it up, peaceful warrior to the front of the mat. And then bring your right hand down onto your thigh. Reach your left arm up into the air. Breathe here. Reach your left arm by your left ear. Reach your right hand down to the block or the ground. Opening up to the left. Maybe you can reach the arm around. Maybe you can bind, taking the right hand under your leg, leaning back, opening your heart. Release everything. Turn into your low lunge. Step your left foot up a little bit, coming into your pyramid pose. So your feet are more connected in. Both hands are on the ground. Now you're going to walk your hands forward as you start to lift your left heel up. And you're going to float your left leg up behind you, coming into warrior three. Supported warrior three with both hands on the ground. See it from here, you can start to open your left hip, stacking your left hip on top of your right. And you might want to just play here, turning your hip down, opening your hip up. If you have blocks or you need blocks, you can put them on a higher setting so you can open them. If you have a piece of furniture, you can hold on to that. So what we want to practice doing is having both hips pointing to the ground and then opening, stacking both hips on top of each other. So both hips face the ground and then both hips open. Lower your left leg, coming back into your low lunge. Taking a break here. Now we're going to take our right hand onto the floor or a block, reach it out in front of us, and we're going to lift up into our half moon. See if you can make it a fluid pose. If you're like, nope, not doing that, go back to the warrior three, opening and closing the leg like we just did. So start by gazing down at the floor in front of you, and then lift up, opening the hips, stacking them up. Reach your left arm up to the sky. And then maybe eventually You can gaze out in front of you or out to the left side or up to your left hand, which I don't have it be today. And then to come out of it, bring your left hand down, face your hips back down to the ground, bend your right knee, coming back into your low lunge. Step back to plank, go through a vinyasa or take a child's pose. And we will all meet eventually in downward facing dog to play and try the other side. So take a break, take a moment, recalibrate. The other side will be different. Maybe it'll be more fun. We'll find out. All right, everybody come into downward facing dog if you're not already there. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest. Float your left leg up behind you. Draw your left knee into your chest, lifting your belly button up to your spine, lining your shoulders up over your wrists. Reach your left leg up one more time. Draw it in, hold here, and bring your left foot up between your hands. You're in your low lunge. Maybe you can open forward, turn your right foot down, press into the outer edge of your right foot. Reach your right arm towards the front of the mat, out and up, coming into your warrior two. Gorgeous. All right, we're in this warrior two. We're pressing into the outer edge of our right foot. Our left knee is over our left ankle. Our hips and shoulders are in one line. Our arms are reaching away from us. We're going to straighten our left leg, bring our arms to meet overhead, and come into a warrior two to the back of our mat. Turn our right palm up, exhale back, peaceful warrior. And then swivel the feet, swivel the arms, peaceful warrior to the front of the mat. Isn't that fun? Bring your left forearm down to your left thigh, coming into side angle. Reach your right arm up. Reach your right arm by your right ear. Reach your left hand down to a block or the floor, keeping your hips stacking, keeping your shoulders stacking. Working towards that opening for half moon. Maybe you can bring your top arm behind you. Maybe you can come into the full bind, keeping that stacking awareness. Breathing here. And then release, coming into your low lunge. Hop your right foot closer to your left, coming into pyramid pose. Forward folding over your front leg, and then walk your hands forward onto the floor, onto blocks, and lift your right leg up behind you. And then open your hips, stacking your right hip on top of your left, and then turn your toes back down to the mat. Open and stack to the right, and then come back down to the mat. Stack here. Both hands are on the floor, or on blocks, or on a piece of furniture. And you want to try and get your hips as open as possible. And then come back down to your lunge to take a break, to take a rest. You can always lower that back knee if you need to. And now we're going to take our left hand on the floor on a block out in front of our left foot. And we're going to start to lift our right leg up, placing our weight in our left hand and our left foot, flexing our right toes, starting to stack our hips, reaching our right arm up. There might be a slight bend in your left knee. You don't want to lock that out. You want to engage your thigh, hold your body up. Your gaze is down, and then you can slowly work your gaze to the right, maybe someday up at the right hand. One side always feels better than the other. Maybe this side feels better for you. Someday maybe you can bend your top foot, reach back with your hand, and hold on to your foot, your ankle. Extend, and then bend your knee, come back into your low lunge. Everything is touching the floor. It feels nice and safe. Step back to your plank position. Go through your vinyasa. Take your time. One inhale, one exhale for each move. And we will meet in downward facing dog. So we're gonna end, well, not end, we're not close. We're getting close, sorry. We're gonna follow that up with some pigeon. So lift your right leg up behind you, bend your knee, open your hip. I know we've done a lot of hip opening. And now draw your right knee towards your right wrist and reach your left leg back behind you. Slowly make your way into pigeon. If you have a pillow and you want to put it underneath your right hip so that your hips are a little more even, so you feel a little more supported, you can do that. You can start to slowly bend, folding down over your front leg. You can bring your head onto a block or another pillow. Or if you have the opening and the flexibility, come all the way down. Breathe here. Taking a few minutes. Relaxing. Slowing your breath down. Start to walk yourself back up. If you have something under your hip, remove it. You're going to roll onto your right hip. You're going to bring your left leg all the way around, coming into a cross-legged twist. So your left foot is on the ground outside your right knee. You're going to take your right elbow. You're going to hook it around your left knee, and you're going to swim your left arm behind you, coming into a twist. Breathe in here, looking over your left shoulder. Maybe if you have the posture strength, you can bring your left hand to the back of your right hip. And now we're going to untwist. We're going to bring both hands all the way over to the right, leaning down almost into a half push-up. And when we come back up, we're going to swing our left leg back behind us. And we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Pedal your down dog out. Lift your left leg up behind you. Open the hip, left knee up to the ceiling. And then draw the left knee towards the left wrist. Left ankle towards the right wrist. Walk the leg back. You have that pillow handy. Maybe it goes under your left hip this time. Reach back. And then start to fold yourself forward. Slowly coming onto your forearms, putting a pillow under your forehead, or if you can bring your head all the way down, you can do that. Amazing. And we're going to hang out here for a few breaths. Feeling the outer edge of our hip, our glute, start to open. A few more breaths. And then we'll start to come back up to a seated, straightened position. Remove that pillow if you've had it. Roll onto your left hip. Bring your right leg all the way around. Take your left elbow, hook it around your left knee, swim your right arm behind you, look over your right shoulder. Coming into this twist, maybe you can take your right hand over to your left hip. Breathe here. And when you unwind, your right hand comes all the way across, meets your left. Both hands go over to the left. You lean over to the left. You're not actually doing a push-up. You just feel like you're in that kind of mode. And when you come back up, you're going to swing your right leg behind you and walk yourself back into a downward facing dog. Pedal your feet out. Walk your feet to the middle of your mat. Walk your hands to meet your feet. Your feet are hip distance apart, maybe a little wider, and start to sit yourself down, coming into a squat. So your hips are nice and open now. Maybe your heels are lifted. That's okay. You can put a pillow underneath your heels to give you the little bit of space that you might need. If you can, bring your hands to heart center. See if you can lengthen your spine, shoulders over your hips. Maybe you can bring one arm down and open up. Come back to center, fly to the other direction. If that doesn't feel good, just hang out in your squat. If that doesn't feel good, go ahead and sit down. One more breath and we'll all meet seated. Bringing our feet together, coming into cobbler's pose. Gently hold onto your ankles. Inhale, exhale, round your back like you're coming into cat. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. Come back up to your straight spine. Reach your legs out in front of you. Hands gently by the side. Flex your toes. Sit up nice and tall. Feet forward. Reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Let your hands relax wherever they are, on your knees, on your thighs. You feel a big stretch through your lower back. Bend your knees slightly if you have any strain or weird pain in your lower back. Bend your knees. Bend them more. And then come back up to sit. Slide the soles of your feet onto the mat. Hold on to the backs of your thighs or reach your arms forward. We're going to lean back halfway and then pull up. Lean back halfway. Kind of like a sit-up, but not really. Lean back halfway and up. 2 more. 1 more. And now we're going to lower 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way onto your back. Soles of your feet are still on the floor. Knees are pointing up to the ceiling. We're going to counter all of that with a back bend. So let your fingertips tickle the heels of your feet. We're going to do 2 bridge poses. So if you want to do the bind on both of them, you can. If you want to do a supported bridge on both of them, you can. So inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips, your middle back, your upper back, bringing your chest towards your chin. So think about your shins moving towards your big toe. If you want to interlace your fingers behind your back and then shimmy your shoulders together to get a little bit more space, make sure you're pressing your forearms down into the mat as you lift your hips up and away. We're going to take 3 full breaths here. And then slowly release down wherever you are. Let your knees touch together. Sidle your feet out to the side of your mat. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And relax. Do that one more time. So start to bring your heels back under your knees, your toes point away from you. Make sure you can tickle your heels with your fingertips. Press down into your big toe, your pinky toe, your heels. Start to peel your hips up to the sky, lifting your hips and then your middle back and then your chest. Your chest is coming towards your chin is pointing up to the ceiling. If you're going to interlace your fingers again, see if you can interlace with the opposite finger on top. Shimmy your shoulders together. Reach your hips higher up towards the sky. 3 full inhales with 3 long exhales. And now release your hands, come down slowly, 1 vertebra at a time. We're going to windshield wiper our knees all the way to the right, come through center, all the way to the left. Once more, each side. And then we'll make our way into Shavasana. If there's anything else that you want to do before you make your way into your final Shavasana, you can go ahead and take that now. Otherwise, start to lengthen your legs away from your body. Lengthen your arms away from your body. See if you can find a straight feeling from the top of your head down through your spine. Let your palms face up. Let your feet fall out to the side. Big inhale, filling your whole body up from air from your big toe all the way up to the crown of your head. And then exhale everything out. Move into your stillness. Envision a warm sunlight starting at the top of your head and slowly flowing down, warming up your body, head, ears, forehead, flowing down over your cheeks, your chin, neck, over your shoulders, down your arms, hands, through your chest and torso, filling up your hips, letting them open, down through your legs, knees, shins, all the way down to warm sunlight, cooling you. More than welcome to stay where you are. If you're ready to come out, you can start to gently rock your head side to side. Reach your arms up overhead like you're taking a big stretch. And then curl yourself onto one side. And slowly press yourself up into a seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. Gently bow your chin. Thank you all for coming to practice today. It has been my pleasure to lead you. Happy New Year. Namaste.